All right, we're working with functions, composition of functions and composition of functions. Perfect. So we have f of g x equals f of g x. So real quickly, let me just explain one thing quick. This thing outside goes into him, and this thing in general goes into him. Once again, this guy goes into him, and this whole thing with that inside goes into him. So it's kind of like a Pac-Man eating smaller things, if that's what I can compare it to. And I'll get into why it is just like that right now. So domain is a set of all inputs. The function f receives the inputs of function g, produces something, eats something else. Since g of x represents a set of outputs, range of g, the domain of f of x is the range of g of x. So I know that sounds real confusing, and if you understood that, then awesome. Very good for you. I think that's great. If you didn't understand that, that's what we're here for. Let me do pink. So here we have our two functions. I'm going to write over here just because this picture is very blurry. So we got f of x is going to equal 2x squared minus 3. And our g of x is just 4x. So let's do this one. F of g with a 1. What do you guys think that is? So let's just break it down real quick. So f of g and 1 is just equal to f of g of x. Boom. So this guy, this f ate this g, basically. See how he's inside the function now? This g of x is inside the function of f. So it's kind of like how when you have f of x equals something. But now instead of the x, we have this g inside. Okay? Following with me? Don't worry. The more we do these, the more you're going to get it, if you haven't gotten it already. So that equals that. So let's plug it in. So basically we have f of, what is g? 4x. Boom. Now 4x goes into the function of f. Where do we have an x here? Right there. So now what we have is 2 times, open parenthesis, what's in here? 4x, close the parenthesis. This x has a squared, right? Minus 3. So you see what we did? We basically shoved this 4x into the x of that. That's all we've done so far. When we multiply this straight out, that would be what? 2. Well, actually, we know we can do this really quick. So that's 16, right? 4 squared is 16. X squared is just x squared. Let me erase this. All that times 2 would equal 32x squared minus 3. Minus 3 hasn't been done anything, so this is the answer to the first one. Okay, let's do the next one. F of f. So f of f is like saying f of x is inside of f, right? So we're shoving this guy into itself again. So this whole thing into an x squared, basically. And let's write that out, what that's going to look like. That's going to look like this. So f 2x squared minus 3, because that's what it equals, right? 2x squared minus 3 inside another, this guy. So that would be 2, open parenthesis, and put the multiplication symbol. Actually, I'm going to clean that up. Sorry, I just want to clean that up a little better. It just started looking too messy. So this is what we have. Boom. Good. So because this half is this guy, and we're saying this guy back into this guy, this is what it's going to look like. Times squared, because that's squared, minus 3. If we FOIL all this, it's going to look like this. So since you're taking this kind of a class, I shouldn't have to explain how FOIL works. So right, this guy as a side note would be this. Right? So on and so forth, because it becomes all this, and when we combine like terms, it turns into this. So now we distribute this guy into everything, this 2. All right then, and that is our final answer. I apologize if there's any background noise. Let's go to the next one. This guy will equal this. So now it's reversed. So see, f of g, f of f, g of f. So now it's g on the outside, and then we're shoving the little f into g. So now it's reversed. So we're shoving this guy into the 4x. And that looks something like this. G of 2x squared minus 3, right? Which also just equals 4. And what's the x? 4x. So this goes into the x of 4, 2x minus 3. Boom. Distribute that in. I'm just going to do it on the side. Would be 8x squared minus 12. That's the answer to that one. Next one, g into g. This is actually the easiest one. That's why I left it for last. So we're saying basically g of x. So g of 4x. And I read out every step, so that means 4 times 4x, 16x. That's the answer to this one, right? So we have this 4x, right? And we're saying we're going to shove a 4x into 4x. So it would look like this, and then it would look like this, and then it would look like this. That's literally what we're doing. We're putting this guy, either g into the x of that, or this whole thing into the x of that, or this whole thing into its same x, or this whole thing into its same x. That's all we're doing. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.